Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. I already got a few people in chat already. That's pretty good. I like how this is I'm able to set up before I go live. I think that's pretty cool. I didn't know that I had that service before. I think I'm gonna go ahead and order like whatever the Supreme service is, just to make sure I get everything that I can do with this, because I just operate from my phone, and I had a computer before, but I don't now, and I have the resources to now. The only thing that I have nice in my life, right, is my phone. Like whenever I buy a phone, I buy the best one that's out there. But I don't have cable. I don't watch TV. I don't nothing extra for me. I'm a like total minimalist, right, by choice, and I scrimp and save, and you know sometimes at the end of the year, depending on I sometimes like I'll overpay my rent like 40, $50 a month or whatever, and then at the end of the year I'll have like some money left over, to spend on Christmas or whatever. I get creative in the ways that I save up money. And I could probably either get like a used laptop, like something cheap, or like a cheap new one, or like, or another phone. Um, but I have to think about what would be the best way to do the show, to do it free, because um, definitely don't want to start. I definitely don't want to start taking any money for the show because I want it to be, I don't want to be influenced when I speak, especially when I'm talking about, you know, um, talking about God. I want to be very, very careful how I do that, and I don't want to add money to that scenario, But I think that I'm going to be able to get like at least the best StreamYard for now until I figure out, or even the best streaming service until I figure out what I want to do at the end of the year. But you know what, my oldest son is going to be 21 coming up, man. Like that is shocking to me, What's going on, Arwen? How you doing, Amanda? Hey, Tanya. How are you doing? Paula's here, and Cindy's here, and AJ's here. Wow, this is a good little group here already. Woot woot. I just wanted to make it clear, right? Because like I've been having some people on, and I want to have people on that have different um, beliefs or timelines, in Revelation or whatever. But I want to be clear about what I believe, so that way we can explore these things, right? And test them and go over them and have, I want every side to come up, of course. Everybody's allowed to come up if they want. But, the things that I'm firm on is that creation is a literal 7 days for me, right? I believe, the Bible is true, every word of it, right? Cosmology, everything. And I believe that we're saved by faith and that Jesus Christ paid my full price for redemption to enter the kingdom of heaven. And I know that I'm going to heaven because Jesus paid that price for me, right? The only reason I know that, like, the only reason I'm confident and secure with my place in the kingdom is because of Jesus, that he did that for me and gave us the choice to choose that, right? And have faith in what he did on the cross. Um, and so those things are like dead set certain, and um, so far, my belief in my timeline is that I think that we're right before the mark of the beast, right? But I'm also open to the fact that I could be off in my timeline, right? I see a rapture in Revelation when I read it. I see it in there, you know. But I know a lot of people that have studied a long time that don't see it in there, you know. And so um, I'm humble enough to know that I'm not always right, you know. And but for me, I'm expecting a rapture, you know. But if it doesn't happen, right, I'm prepared for that too, you know. But one thing that I'm not confused about is what Jesus did on the cross. I'm not confused about that at all. That to me, it's almost a knowing inside. I wouldn't say that I know it empirically, of course, right? But the leap of faith easily gets me there, you know. And so, yes, absolutely, Paula. And I believe that God doesn't lie either. And I believe everything in Revelation will happen or has happened or is going to happen, right? I'm not confused about that either. So just to make it clear, so when we have somebody up that wants to share that they might have a different maybe they're looking into some different things on timelines or possibilities or whatever. I want to showcase that at least because um, things like that. I mean, obviously this is a Christian channel where we believe in the sacrifice of Jesus' sacrifice on the cross, right? His grace, right? That's why we're, of course, like it will only be non-salvation issues, that possibilities of you know maybe a different perspective on the Genesis 6, fallen angels, things like that, right? I'll look at that too, right? And the reason I consider more is because I don't know everything, right? I'm not, I'm a baby in this whole thing, I'm one of those people that, when Flat Earth came out, right? Um, I was already a Christian at the time, right? I already believed in God, but when Flat Earth came out, it was like, wait, let me grab that Bible, man. I think I think I got to start getting serious about this, And so while I would say that I identified myself as a Christian before that, right, and I admit that I should have had this much faith in God before, um, I would say that I have a lot more faith in God now, right? And that's just me being honest, And but yeah, I would say that I feel like I'm on fire, like I'm just like I I don't know, like I just have these feelings inside that like like nothing can go wrong. Like no matter what anybody does or says to me, it's going to be okay, And I just don't know how I would ever get to that, like how I would ever get to that feeling without some major. I mean, from where I was to where I am now, um, it would have taken a lot of therapy to get me there, And I'm laughing because hey, look, it's always embarrassing when you have to admit, like, that over life, some of us were damaged in some way, hurt, had character flaws, right? Like, I came a long way in a short period of time, and if it wasn't for God, these things wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't be who I am today, And I'm like at a, they say love yourself, that kind of thing, right? Is a big mantra nowadays, and I really couldn't say that I loved myself until these last few years, And I like who I am as a person, and I don't think I would ever have gotten there without God, And I think for some people, when they get started, they just don't know how it works. Like, you know, like how does it work? How do you know you're going to heaven? You know, and I think we know we're going to heaven because we had a problem and God fixed it. You know, and if it was up to us to fix the problem, if it was up to us to reconcile our own sins, right, we wouldn't make it. You know, and the fact that God is doing that for us and did it for us, right, um, gives us the security that it was done right and perfect. And you know, with that security and joy, right, knowing, okay, now I know what's going to happen after I die. Um, you know, with knowing that and having joy and hope and excitement to start that, right, now I'm free to go, you know, be happy and share that joy with other people, that other people can feel that same joy too. And see, at first, right, I didn't really understand how it all worked, you know. I would go up to like a friend of mine that I cared about, and I would go up to him and I would say, hey, look, this is real, you know, I want you to believe this, blah blah blah, you know, flat earth, you know, Jesus, right? I'd tell him the whole thing, right? I'd want him to know everything I know all in one day, you know. And you know, I got a lot of people that rejected that, obviously, you know, because I mean, you're trying to move somebody a very very long way in a very short period of time, you know, and that didn't work for me, right? And I would try to you know, latch on to friends and try to get them to believe it, you know, because I want them to be in heaven, you know. And I had to really sit and pray, right? A lot. Well, I pray every day a lot anyway, but I mean, only because that's what I love to do anyway. It's not nothing special, right? I don't want any credit for that, you know. But like, it's like, you know, God had to reveal to me that, you know, I'm not going to save anybody. I don't. Good servant doesn't save anybody. Actually, my name is supposed to be the servant, and the channel is called Good Servant, but people call me Good Servant, so I just go with that, even though it feels uncomfortable. But Good Servant doesn't save anybody, you know. Only God can save people. Only God can produce that new believer, you know. And so, my job is to plant little seeds, you know. And I know it's not a great conversation opener. Sorry. But you know, it is what it is. You know, hey, does anybody want to join and talk today? I wanted to have Tom on, man. Every day I want to have Tom Parker on, and he says that you know, if he's not busy, because he's working right now. So I totally understand. And of course, AJ's not here. I was hoping to shoot the breeze with AJ maybe, but does anybody want to come up and just chat? Other than that, I could break down like God revealed to me how Satan uses channels, right? Like you know, I definitely wouldn't have come up with this on my own, but like it was like probably a week ago, right? That like um there'll be a channel, right? That let's say there's a couple channels that are nefarious in nature, meaning they bring the truth, but they don't bring God with it, right? And so it kind of pulls people that are truth seekers away from going to the full benefit of the truth, which is, you know, it leads to Jesus. It leads to the Bible being true. And, you know, you put all these conspiracies and truths together and it leads to God. That's the whole, I mean, that's the gold at the end of the rainbow, you know? And, you know, we're seekers of the truth, but if they can somehow stop us, right, and give us the truth without, you know, a lot of people have trouble accepting the God thing, right? And so if there's another alternative, they'll go that way, you know. And so there's some channels that do that, I think intentionally, right? And there's far more of them than there are of us, right? A true channel that will talk about all the true stuff. It's not compartmentalized. You can say anything you want here, and you know, and we are Christian people here, right? We go all the way with the truth, all the way to the ending point, right? And so once in a while there'll be like a charismatic channel, right? That'll want to go against those channels, you know, to take some action, right? And there'll be some like good uh, people that will want to take some action against that, right? Like, you know, hey, we got to get some of these channels, we got to call them out, you know, expose them, right? Now, who knows if these channels might even hire their own troll, but who knows, right? But a lot of Christians, there's some that just, you know, don't want to take any action. They just want to preach the word, right? And that's fine, right? Everyone has different gifts, right? But what happens is you get these people that will join a group to take action in with good intentions, right? And then you end up, you know, in a group exposing some, you know, some people that maybe are doing some wrong, right? And it feels good to expose those types of people, those types of evil people, right? And then, you know, the channel, right, spits you out one at a time. Only the Christian people, one at a time, to alienate you from the other Christians that will take action. And they spit you out one at a time to alienate you, right, to kind of keep you away from exposing these things. And you wonder, right, like, are these channels like, do they know that they're working for Satan, or is Satan using them to do that? And you have to look at the spirit of something, you know, and really analyze it, you know. Sometimes it takes a while, you know, takes me a while to see some of these channels how they are. And I've hung around some pretty nefarious channels, right, for a long period of time, to where it gets to the point where I just pop my head in and I pop my head out, you know, because it gets too hard. And it's not that I don't like, you know, the people anymore. Of course, like, you know, my heart goes out to everyone, you know. I mean, my heart goes out to everyone that's not hurting people at the moment, you know. Like, if someone's hurting people, then I don't want to be there, obviously. But if someone's not hurting somebody, my heart goes out to them if they're not saved, you know. And yeah, I hold on to people sometimes too long, thinking that they will, or that they will change and they will be good, you know. And you know, it's hard to be wrong, right? It's hard to be a part of something you think is good, and then you find out that it's not good. But then you want to make the people good so that they can be good with you, and they don't want to. And it's not that any of us are better than anybody else. It's just that there's a good path and a bad path to be on, right? And you know, it's the path that's good, right? And it's God that's good. And you know, following God is like something I crave now, you know. I don't think I could live without it. But I guess it's hard for some people to even get started, you know. And I wonder how to remedy that, you know. I wonder what a good remedy for that would be. Hey, AJ, do you want to come up and talk for a little bit? It's up to you. I mean, anybody's really welcome. I don't want to be like not inviting people up here. Anybody's welcome. I mean, of the normal people, you know. Maybe normal people isn't the best way to describe it. Of the regulars to the chat. But yeah, like, oh yeah, how you doing, Hannah? So who else stepped in here? Clutch Bear stepped in here. AJ stepped in here. I'm saying hi to him. Saying hi to Amanda, of course. Gypsies. Richie Black. Who else did I not say hi? Hey, Mystical. I haven't seen you before. Welcome. All right. Oh, what did Clutch? What did Clutchbear say? Oh, I like so level up for the scripture. 2 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8. The crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing. That's right. Well, someone told me this, right? I was trying to tell someone the other day, right, that there's a shortcut to getting that crown of faith, and you just got to be martyred, right? And the guy looked at me like I was crazy, and I was like, yeah, I mean, if we get martyred, we get that crown of faith. It's like for free. And I guess being martyred isn't something that not everyone's looking forward to that. I don't know. Like, to me, that would seem like the best way to go. And I guess maybe I am a little off for saying something like that, but like to me, like that just seems like the most honorable way to go. AJM, you don't want to come up? Andy. Well, if he doesn't want to, then that's fine. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to talk about this morning? Man, I feel pretty good today. Like, I feel happy. Like, I don't think I've felt this happy in a long time. And I just feel, yeah, there is good vibes today. And it's like lately, the people that I've really needed to reach, I've been able to reach. Yeah, there's some people like really the stream is just like a small part of like what this is all about, right? Like, it's really afterwards where the work starts, right? Yeah, like either I'll get support from somebody after, or I need to give some support to somebody, or I need to remedy something that happened, or try to fix things, right? And it's a lot of work, but it's I think that I would like to, if God would triple that amount of work, I would do it, because it's like it's rewarding in a way. Like, sometimes people just want me to listen. They hear me talk enough, and sometimes something will happen I'll have to fix or whatever. I might have to encourage somebody. I might have to get encouraged myself. There might be something I might need to learn. You know, Most of the time I need to ask questions to learn stuff, but it always feels good to do all that. And sometimes I'm stressed out and I go to the right person, and the right person tells me the right thing to like kind of ease that stress. And it seems like everything is on sync. It's like for the last like few weeks, right? It seems like I'm reaching the right people in the right way. Maybe not fixing everything perfect the way I really could, but I'm trying to like really factor in, a lot of variables and give a lot of room, to people because we're all trying to get better. I'm trying to get better every day. I mean, there's not a day where I'm satisfied with how I am. And so I really like that part of it. And so Clutchbear said it would be an honorable death, but probably a horrible one at the same time. Big time courage to face that. See, like, I think that if it's going to be a quick death, right? You know, getting your head whacked off or something like that, like that can't be as bad as starving or being sick or something like that, or having some kind of pestilence hit the earth, right? That's the way I look at it. Like, what are the things that I fear more than death? And there's a lot of things, obviously, but yeah. Truth Hurts says, "Hey everyone, I dropped another like." Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for putting a like on there. I like your live streams, man. I like how you do You do like karaoke, man. I think that's cool. Like, how does that work with copyright and all that? Because I I would be afraid to have music on. I don't know how that works. I'm afraid that if there was like maybe like two notes of music that like I would get like some kind of strike for that. And yeah, I like watching your streams because I think you say relevant things to things going on because I know a lot of people that put their identity into YouTube. Like a big part of their day is being, going from chat group to chat group, around other truthers, to feel comfortable, and I get that. And so, because of that, there's some drama that goes on, and I like how you cover that, in a fair way, really. And so I do appreciate your streams. And I try to support a lot of your channels. I try to go to the ones where I learn from, especially, and for the ones that I can turn them on and then do other things. And so I definitely like to go to Level Up on Sundays, and you have something Wednesday too, right? When is it? Wednesday night and Sundays at 11? I can't remember. I'm in California, so obviously the times would be different where you live. But and also I like when Shepard's voice streams, but that's always a surprise. I never know when that's gonna be, and so I didn't catch it last time, but I like to catch that one too. And see, like it says, oh yeah, exactly, man. I want everyone to have an equal saying, no matter what their views and opinions are. And see, and not only that, right? But like just the way I am, right? Is I want people to know that even if they're being horrible to me right now, horrible, right? If they submitted to God and got honest, right? And really wanted to do better and was going towards that right way, I would forgive them in 1 minute, just to stop what they're doing and get right. And that goes for anybody, like anybody. Yeah, there are things, right, that would be hard for me um to be around, right? There's things that I don't want to be around. But if somebody hasn't physically hurt me or anybody, right, then there's always room to do better, right? And I think that should be encouraged, right? Like, I'm not such a big piece of this life, right? That just because I'm offended, I'm going to cut off somebody's chance to get better. But there are people that are definitely wearing it out, to where, like Jesus says, kick the dust from your feet and just move on, right? And so, yeah, maybe I do forgive a little too much. And sometimes I put up with a little bit where people take advantage of me a little bit. But you know what? I'd rather be that way than to have to go to sleep at night knowing I didn't give anybody a chance. And so, what does this say, Mystical? It says KJV was written by someone who also was researching Fae and Paranormal. Well, I mean, do you know why King James came up with the King James Version? I mean, do you know the history of that, Mystical? I mean, basically, he came up with that version because people were reading the Geneva Bible, which had like extra notes in there about like the elite leadership that was going on. So really, they were trying to make a more perfect Bible for people to read, so that they would want to read that one instead of the one. I mean, it's a pretty good Bible. It's kind of hard if you don't know the history of it. You know, I mean, I'd probably type in about into YouTube about learning about the history of the KJV Bible, and maybe you can see how that all came about. I'm not the best person to ask about that. In fact, you could probably go to Level Up and find out about that kind of thing. you know it says, so watch yourself. If your brother or sister sins against you, rebuke them, and if they repent, forgive them. Yes, absolutely. And like, I'm okay with that. I mean, like, I don't want someone to like keep doing bad just because they think that they can't do good and start over, you know? Like, there's a place for healing here, you know? And I think that that needs to be open, because the more new Christians we have, the better off we're going to be in the end, you know? Because there's going to be some stuff we're going to have to get through. Hey, Bianca, it's nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. Who else slid in here? I missed somebody. There, BB came in, and every time I see Amanda, I think it's brand new that she's here. Because I guess because I'm always looking for you over at the other chats. I know somebody snuck past me that I didn't see, but anyway, hi BB. And yeah, I mean, and I think that it would be good, right? Like, especially for the people that do content and do live streams, right? To like sub to each other, right? That way, if one of our channels goes down, right, then we could still share information pretty easily with at least each other, right? Form a web ring, you know? And then, like, I was also thinking that, you know, anybody, like, I'm thinking about doing a mailing list again. And because I tried to do a backup channel, I think I got like 30 subscribers on that now, you know, Good Servant 2. I don't have a link. If someone could put a link in there in the chat, that would be great. But if not, that's cool too. But you know, Good Servant 2. It's only, you know, if people email me at goodservant22@gmail.com, I could probably put everybody on a mailing list. That way we could do a video and just email it, you know? That's what John LeBon does. I don't know if you guys know John LeBon or any of his work. He's not a Christian guy, but he's a decent truther. You know, he covers some things pretty well, you know? And so there are channels that I go to that, you know, I can bring that information here, and I definitely would promote him, you know? He's just, you know, if you're comfortable going to a non-Christian, but I would assume that the discernment of the people in this chat is pretty good, you know? And so, yeah, I'm excited about, oh, what does it say? It says, I found your other page and subscribe to it. Oh, okay, that's great, man. That's great. I mean, if I could get that thing to 100 people, I'd be happy, you know? Like, you know, I think what happens is people subscribe and then they just, you know, I don't know what happens, you know? It's weird because it stops and it'll grow for a little while and then it just stops. And so I don't know if YouTube stops us or how that works, you know? But like I've gained like hundreds in a short period of time and then nothing for a long time, you know? And so I don't know how it works. It's crazy to me. Oh, there we go. Hey, Sheila, how you doing? I knew somebody slipped by me. Did you just get here? Maybe you slipped by me earlier. That's the person that slipped by me. Oh, Sheila, I'm glad you're here. No, it's cool if you fell asleep. Sometimes I fall asleep and miss my own stream, you know? That's where I really that's where I really run into trouble. You know what I really wanted to go over, like at one of these points, right, is I wanted to talk about, like, you know, what do you guys do when you go to family, right, with, you know, the knowledge that we know. You know, of course we don't want to alarm our children and alarm our parents and brother or whatever, you know, with, you know, alarming into the world type stuff, right? But like, how do you approach them to tell them what's going on, you know? And do they listen to you, you know? Because I haven't had very much success. But you know, the way my mom described it to me is that, like, maybe sometimes it just needs to be somebody else, you know, like with your own family, kind of like you know, Tom Brady is Tom Brady to the world, right? Like he's a, you know, football player, champion, whatever, right? But at home he's just Tom, you know. No one wants to listen to Tom Brady about, you know, football, his family, you know what I mean? He's just Tom at his house. And so maybe it needs to be someone else coming to them with this kind of stuff. I mean, who knows, you know? But I almost thought of just having, like, you know, some of these real good truthers calling my family members, you know, and just being like, you know, hey, look, this is what's going on, you know? I mean, I've been able to get some of my friends to listen, and enough to where they learn for themselves. And I've got like, three of them that they come by here once in a while. They're not into it like I am. I want to learn every new truth as soon as it comes out. And then I go again on another rabbit hole. But I mean, I like when something new comes out that I kind of get into it, right? I pretty much know like the ones that aren't true pretty much right away. I don't know how you guys are with that. But I got into that one with the clones. Like every celebrity has a clone, and there's like some lizard like puts a spike in their head and controls their brain or something like that. Like I was getting into that a little bit, and I was like, oh no, this is terrible, man. There's no way they're gonna make a clone of Britney Spears exactly 40 years old or something like that. Like that's not realistic. And then the guy they had that was talking about it, right? He like was over specifying, like, uh, oh yeah, I don't get paid for this. I don't ask for any money, and I just want to get the truth out. And it's like, okay, man, come on, man. They would kill you, man, if if you were putting out a truth like that. And why wouldn't you want to make money if you were, exposed to something like that? I mean, who knows, right? But I mean, it's easy to tell these things aren't true when they come out, right? And so, like, just be careful. I mean, there's always something weird going on. You know, Someone told me that Michael Jackson was that guy, Dave, that the guy, he was a kid. He was like a burn victim, like back in the 80s. And then he grew up into an adult, and someone said that was Michael Jackson, that they were the same guy. And I was like, oh man, that's definitely not true. I mean, because that kid's been around for a long time. He was like that as a kid. I forget his name now, David something. But there is some, they like to throw you off, and have you go on a rabbit trail. And so, there are some conspiracies that are just uncomfortable to talk about, right? And you're just like, well, you know, I think the thing that is important is that if anybody has like a really big platform, right, where they got millions of people and influence, right, there's not going to be any dissenting opinions, right? Like you're not going to hear any big time celebrity talk about um, anything in the mainstream, in a negative way, right? Like they're obviously all together. Like I mean, and that's not natural. You would think that if everybody was their own person, there would be one or two or three or four, right? People saying, this is no good or whatever. But there isn't. And living in California, you would think that I would have met more celebrities, and I haven't really. And they only date each other. So it's like not like they date regular people. And so I'm like, well, does everybody have a chance to make it? Or do they all come from the same family? Like they're just like children of elite people or something. And then you start to realize that really there is like a big clump of people at the top that run things. And who knows how far down it goes, right? Who knows what regular people, what opportunities we really do have? Like how high we could really go up. And yeah, and see, that's the thing, right? There might be young people, right, that think that they could grow up and be a celebrity. They go to like LA or whatever to make it big or something, and they get shut down everywhere. And you wonder if they get led into careers that are dangerous for them. And you wonder if it's a big setup that if people knew from the beginning, they wouldn't get involved in that kind of thing. And so, the truth really does set you free. And the more truth right, the better off you are in this world, right? Because it's the only way to get out. And that's why I love how Jesus, he equates himself to the truth, right? I am the truth. I am the way, the truth, and the life, right? Like he's equal to the truth, you know? So we're supposed to love the truth and seek it and love it, you know? And hold on to it and sell it not, right? Be buyers of the truth and sell it not. I mean, just really grab onto the truth and don't. That's our only, like, now I know when I hear a pastor, right, and they're talking about, like, you know, certain things in Genesis, right? If they start talking about a flying globe spinning, or, you know, well, that's one filter I have, you know, to know that, okay, well, this person isn't awake. I mean, they don't know the truth about that yet, you know. Or if they're denying certain things that are going on in Hollywood, I mean, that are obvious, you know, right? It's a good filter, right? If you know all the truth, it's a good filter to know who's telling the truth. Because you know if somebody's obviously saying something that, or speaking against something that's an obvious truth, right? Then you know that, you know, hey, we need to go to another channel, you know. But it's getting like fewer and fewer people that know the truth, you know. And you wonder, right? Because you can't really trust like one channel, like, oh, okay, this is the channel and they have everything. It's like you got to go to all these different channels and really use some good discernment and really like research, like, because we got to make sure that what they're saying is true too, you know, and discern that stuff, you know. And so it could be a lot of work, you know, hours and hours and hours, you know. I mean, now there's all these really nice flat earth videos where you could, you know, probably learn everything you need to know in a couple of days. But when I was digging into flat earth, we had to check every little piece of information, you know, separate, you know. I mean, I was all trying to figure out radio waves being shot to the moon and the speed of light and, you know, Rayleigh criteria and inverse square law and like you know, theoretical particle physics, right? I'm like trying to, I had to figure all that stuff out on my, not on my own. I mean, there's other obviously I hung around some very, very smart people, you know, but it's like, you know, putting that stuff together was hard, you know, and now it's all together. Yeah, I remember me, I remember AGM, you know, we were back in the day and we were just digging. All there was like Jeranism and, I think Eric Dubay, of course, he was great, you know, but he's definitely an outspoken non-Jesus person, and a person that knows that much truth should know better, you know. You know, it makes me think that if you're a truther and you're not a believer in Jesus Christ, that you're probably a Satanist. I mean, there's a good chance that you're a Satanist, you know, and either that or, you know, like someone needs to help you, you know, like someone needs to help you know how it all works, you know. And there's nothing wrong with asking people, you know, hey, what do you believe, you know, and you know, asking certain people that you like, say they act in a way that, like, you know, they're a good person, and you're like, oh, I like the way that person acts and carries themselves. I want to know what they believe, you know, and sometimes that'll help you, you know. And I would say I had all these different beliefs about the Bible, right? Until I started reading the Bible, right? And then it's like, well, the only way to know is to read it. Because there's a lot of people that tell me, oh, no, it's not real, this and that, blah, 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 right? But then I ask them about it, and they don't know what's in the Bible. I mean, they say they do, and they tell me I'm getting some stuff wrong or whatever. But like, they don't really, like, I'll say something, and they'll be like, really? You know, and I'm like, well, if you haven't read the Bible and seen the magic for yourself happening in front of your eyes, like, I can't make you see what I see. I can't empirically prove it. But if you put your belief first and then wait to prove it, you'll know for yourself that it's real, you know? You won't have to believe me. But if you don't ever read it, how are you going to know, you know? And, you know, and I'm not better than anybody. I'm guilty of that too. I believed in, I was a Christian that didn't read the Bible for a long time, you know, which is horrible. But you know, these last few years have been great. I love the Bible. Like, the only reason I'm happy with what I know is because I know I'm going to know more today. I'm going to read it some more, you know, and you never stop learning, right? You could read it all the way, and I probably could read all the way until I die, you know. I mean, that's what I'm going to do. So, and there's some books I love. I don't know why they pump me up, but they pump me up, you know, and I just feel energy from it, you know, and yeah, isn't it horrible when people roll out the merchandise, you know? That's just anytime money is involved, it makes me uncomfortable. Like I don't mind giving money to a church if, you know, if they're doing something for, you know, the community. Because I think the whole idea was, right, that the church really, it was like you had people living and then they all met at the church where that's their community was, right? And God was just an automatic. It was, everyone knew there was a God, you know? And the job of the church was to kind of collect some money anonymously, right, to help the people that couldn't take care of themselves, you know? But now that the government does that, right, you know, you're like, well, you know, we're already giving our money to the government for that. Like, what does the church do? You know, and so if there's a church that has a good program and they're doing something good, I don't mind giving money to that. But if or if I'm learning something that I could pass on to other people, I definitely want to give to that because I want that to still be there for me. You know, and it's a resource that I appreciate. You know. And so I'll give a little bit to that. And even channels that aren't Christian, channels that I learn a little bit from, I mean, I do want to support that, you know. I mean, unless they're doing nefarious things, you know, that I know for sure, then I won't go to their channels. And there are some that I don't go there. And so, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy what some people can get away with doing to other people on the internet. You know, I don't think the laws were have caught up to technology at all. I mean, it's insane what people are allowed to do. You know, just to completely harass you. I don't think they would do that in public because there would be a fight. You know what I mean? Like if somebody if somebody trolled you at like school, like if you were in like high school or something or middle school, and someone was trolling you like that, and like you know, I mean, just being like that. I mean, I don't know how long that person would survive. You know, like I don't know how that type of person would exist except for online, you know? And see, that's what I'm talking about, level up. See, I like that, right? Like that's how it's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be like if somebody is having a hard time, the people at the church are supposed to give money anonymously, right? Anonymously, not out in the open how much they gave or anything. And then the church takes care of people, you know? And it should just be all you know covered like that, you know, and that would be a great way to do it. But a lot of these churches, you know, you'll see people that you know, oh look how much I gave to these people for what they went, you know, and that bothers me, man. It really bothers me when somebody does something for other people and then promotes it, you know, like oh look what I did for other people. I mean that I don't understand that, you know. What's going on, Waters of Life? It's good to see you, man. I'm glad that you're around, man. Hey guys, subscribe to that channel. That's a good channel. I like his stuff. Um, yeah, so I mean, you know, that's all I got. You know, I don't know. I just kind of babbled here for longer than usual, you know. I hope that, you know, maybe I said something encouraging, cleared up, you know, basically what my beliefs are. So that way, if we have somebody on, right, that has a different idea of like, you know, like their timeline of revelation or, um, you know, how they feel about things, how they're interpreting things in the Bible, right? I want there to be room for some of us to help the others, you know? And maybe we'll learn something new, maybe we won't, you know? But at least, yeah, at least we'll test everything, you know, and see what's out there because there's a lot of stuff going on out there that's meant to deceive us, you know? And it's better to open it up here than open it up out there, you know? And I mean, that's just my belief. I don't know. Because there's a lot of people in here that I trust, you know, with my salvation, you know. I mean, of course, I only trust God, but I mean, there's a lot of people here that I trust, like very much, to that level, and so, I'll just say that. But I love you guys, and thanks for coming, and I just want to say, praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. And yeah, it is insane, Cindy, but it's just it's gonna take what it takes, and I think that Revelation is designed to save the most amount of people. I think that it's bad to get people to submit, but that's another show topic that we can dive into. All right, I love you guys. Praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace, and you guys have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? All right, bye, guys.